So no bass player really should be without the knowledge of people like Duck Dunn. He was the bass player for Booker T and the MGs and the Blues Brothers soundtrack, which we're all pretty much familiar with. So all the low end on that record is provided by him. Now, it's about simplicity and rhythmic drive, and that's what made him great and his riffs great. So She Caught the Katy, for example. All of those lines are just made great by the fact that they are consistent, and you've got this sort of no unnecessary surface noise. So just that tonal consistency. Now you can use your drum rhythm to play these riffs slower to get them to fully gel. But still keep the notes proportionally the same length. So if you slow it down, the notes should be longer to match the tempo change. It wouldn't be like that. So that's the first tune on that record, when Jake meets Elwood, having just served his prison term. Now the second one on that album is Peter Gunn. It's the same riff all the way through, and you think, oh, it's so boring. But actually your job really is to be utterly consistent for the entire 3.5 minutes of that record. So that riff, it's all on one string. I would avoid going to the open A string, because it's an open string which sounds a lot different to a fretted string, and also you don't have to cross. But keep in mind that surface noise does stick out. Notice I'm putting a little sort of bend on that. Some people do this, put a G sharp, but actually it's not that. It's sort of a G bent all some way towards the G sharp. Also, you can do this. You can put a little 3 to 4. But not make too much of it. It's really almost a ghost note, like that. One of his other lines was in Ray's Music Exchange. They end up playing Shake Your Tail Feather with everyone dancing outside. That's a hard line to play. It's in D and it involves a lot of string crossings, so you've got to sort of maintain that relaxation across the entire string, the entire range of the guitar. And maintain consistency. Some of those eighth notes are a little bit panicky. Just play at the same tempo as Peter Gunn. And keep those eighth notes really even. feel free to use the drums. We've got Darcy here. When you're playing at a slower tempo, sometimes it's actually useful to have those 16ths going there. Dink, 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 because it gives you a little bit more inflection on where to put those notes. You know, I play this tune a lot out on gigs, but it's only when you come back in and slow it down and analyse it, you realise that it's very easy to fall into bad habits. To get a really good solid line like that, it makes you realise how good Duck Dunn actually was. So lots of those lines, lots of those Blues Brothers tunes, you know, it's just that sort of quality of bass playing, the simplicity but utter perfect sort of execution is what makes that really work so well.